Well, Australian house prices are rising at their fastest rate in nearly 4 years, according to a new report. The data, published by Domain, reveals the median house price in Sydney has now hit a record $1.75 million, with lower interest rates and improved borrowing capacity driving the demand. For more, I'm joined by Dr Nicola Powell, Chief of Research and Economics at Domain. Nicola, many thanks for your time.
Good morning.
Those numbers there, they're quite astonishing. House prices growing at their fastest rate in 4 years. From a macro approach, more broadly, what does this data tell us?
It really does show that Australia's housing market has been reignited, and we certainly are seeing momentum coming back into all of our capital cities. We do have every single capital city rising, both for houses and for units. The only one that bucks that trend is units in Canberra did fall over the most recent quarter. When we look at the combined capital cities, we've now seen 11 consecutive quarters of growth. So it is continuous growth. And when we look at that most recent quarter, it's the strongest increase we've seen across the combined capitals in almost 4 years. So momentum is certainly coming back in.
What is the longer term trend telling you here about median prices?
Look, they are rising, and our expectations are for further price growth through spring and into next year. It really is interesting because we are seeing a bit of a divergence across the different capital cities. We've got past outperformers, which were Perth and Adelaide. They're still rising, but they're losing a little bit of momentum, so they're not rising as fast as they once were. And what we have seen is Sydney and Melbourne are reawakening. We are seeing greater momentum in these two markets, and they have actually posted the strongest rate of growth that we've seen for these two markets in a number of years.
When you look at the table of median prices, Sydney still has the mantle of top spot there by quite a significant degree, around $500,000 or $600,000. But it's how state capitals are lining up behind that. Second spot is no longer what it used to be.
That's absolutely true. So what we have seen over the most recent quarter is Brisbane is now Australia's second most expensive capital city, not only to purchase a house, but also to purchase a unit. We have seen extreme change in price points across southeast Queensland, actually, overall. We do have record pricing. It continues to grow. This is the longest stretch of rising prices we've seen in Brisbane, really since, in a couple of decades. So we have seen that price point really change across Brisbane's housing market. I think it is a result really of strong levels of population growth. When you look at net interstate migration and net overseas migration into Queensland, it's running 3-4 times faster than what we would see in the 2010s. And it has a chronic undersupply. So our expectation is prices are going to continue to rise in Brisbane.
And how do the other capital cities line up after first and second?
Look, we've got most of our capital cities now with $1 million median house price. Adelaide is there. Some of the other milestones, so Perth is only $19,000 away from being $1 million median house price. And Perth still remains one of the more affordable capital cities in which to purchase, along with Hobart and Darwin. But even with Perth, the change in affordability has been very dramatic over the last 5 years. And we're expecting that $19,000 to be added before the end of the year, which means we will have that headline that Perth joins that $1 million club for house prices.
It's quite extraordinary, isn't it? You mentioned net migration before, putting a bit of a fire under the demand in, say, Queensland. But what about the federal government's first home buyer guarantee scheme coming in? I mean, it obviously wouldn't be flowing into these numbers just yet, but is there a sense of FOMO, of buyers wanting to get in before that program really starts making a dent?
That is the feedback that we've had from industry, that some people have fast-tracked their decisions to purchase a home before that 1st of October and that expansion of the home guarantee scheme in order to kind of not compete against the influx of first home buyers of what we're expecting. I think the expansion of the home guarantee scheme, it's designed for all Australians, so there's no caps on places. There's also no income caps. There are property price caps across the different capital cities and into the regions. And what we are expecting is strong uptake of this expanded home guarantee scheme. What that will do across our capital cities and into the regional markets, it will support price, particularly just under that property price cap. So I think in our big capital cities, we're likely to see unit prices accelerate a little bit more. We've really seen that acceleration already for house prices, but I think particularly at the affordable end for house prices, so think outer suburbs of our big capital cities, they're the places where we will see prices continue to rise and probably at a faster rate than what what they are now.
So on that note, I mean, the data that has been released, if you're a home owner, that's happy days for you because the numbers are going the right way. But for those wanting to get into the market, what sort of hope is there for them?
It is challenging for first home buyers. I think my advice for first home buyers would see what schemes you are eligible for and make sure you apply early. Set your budget, look at those suburbs that are what we describe as bridesmaid suburbs that perhaps haven't gentrified as much. And I think, we have got prices rising, which means it does make it challenging for first home buyers. And I think particularly with the home guarantee scheme, I think the people that are really going to benefit from this scheme are the ones that get in first.